Right. Uh, in the previous video, in the previous lesson, part one of the project Rock Paper Scissors, we built this game. We built this game, and basically, the game is asking a user for a move, and then uh, the computer randomly generates a move. The computer randomly generates a move, and then the program compares the move the computer generates with the move the user enters, and then get results, and then those results are displayed. So let's see how it's working before we go to the part two of this. So when I come to my class here, call it play game, I have created an instance of the class game, and I am calling the start method here, which allows the playing of the game. So if I run this game here, if I run this game, I'm on a slow machine, so it's going to take quite some time. Yeah, so it tells me enter a rock, paper, or scissors. So I'm going to enter paper this time, then I'll press enter. So when I press enter, it tells me you picked paper, computer picked rock, you win. Now let me run the game again so that I enter rock this time. So I enter rock, I hit enter. You picked rock, computer picked scissors, you win because rock breaks scissors. Now the last time, let's enter scissors. Let's run the game again. We enter scissors. So you picked scissors, the computer picked paper, you win. It's like we are masters of this game. Okay, let me run it the last time. Now I enter rock again. Let me see. Picked rock, the computer picked rock, you null. Okay, I get the issue. There is a typing error with whatever this is being printed, because it's rock xk. So we need to locate this error and fix it so that we don't see null returned. Let's come to our game. Somewhere in this logic, user move logic, user move method, where the user, oh sorry, it's just a spelling here, it's just a spelling. I entered ROCXK, that's why it's showing me null. Okay, nice, that's okay. That's okay, the program is okay. Alright, so let's come to play game again. I'm on a slow machine, you will understand, and the machine is processing a lot of things at the moment. Okay, so let's run this again. We come play to play game, then we play our game again. Let's now make sure we are entering the correct spellings of rock. So enter rock, paper, or scissors. I'm entering rock. Yeah, I picked rock, computer picked scissors, you win. Alright, so what I want us to do in this game, we basically want to we want to add a score. The computer should be able to tell us how many wins we have, how many losses we have, and how many draws we have. That is what we're going to do in this lesson. So we're going to improve our game by adding scores. Now, for us to be able to, after adding scores, we still want the computer to be able to remember the previous scores. So the game should be able to remember the previous scores. For instance, right now, since I have played and I have won, so under wins it should be reading 1. So for instance, if I play again and I win, instead of the wins reading again 1, it should read 2. That's what I mean. So the program should be able to remember our previous score. Now, to do that, we need to come and add a few things in our game. And the first thing thing that we need to add is we need to add the input output to import the input output package that allows us to handle input and output, because for us to be able to actually enable the remembering of scores, we should be able to create a file. We create a text file. We will call it something like scores.txt. Then we will be saving our scores in that. Then we will be loading once when we play the game again, the game should load the scores from the file. So we're going to import java.io. we have dot and star. That's the package that we're going to use. And then in our class here, in the game class, we need to add variables that are going to hold our scores. So we need to add we need to add the variable that is going to hold our wins, the variable that is going to hold our draws, and the variable that is going to hold our losses. But before that, let's create a file that is going to hold our scores. So I'll come to the path that is holding our game. So we'll come to this PC, to the directory of our game, local disk C. We go to users. Let me check. Okay, ideal projects. Rock paper scissors game is here. So inside rock paper scissors game is where we're going to create the file. So I'm going to right click in here and I will create new, and I'll call it scores. I'm creating a text file, so I'm creating with Notepad, so just call it scores. That is scores.txt for text. Alright, then I'm gonna come back to my IDE now. Here I'm going to create a variable that is going to reference to our scores file, and I want it to be private, so I'll call it private static final. I don't want it to be changed. Static final, I don't want it to be changed. I want it to be, I want it to be a constant. Private static final. I'll give it it is of type string, going to store string values, and I just call it score file. I'm gonna call it score underscore file, and I'm going to equate this to the file that we just created. We called it scores, so I'm going to equate it to scores.txt. Scores.txt. That is our file. Okay, then I want us to create a variable that is going to hold our wins. So I'm going to say private static int, because it will be of type integer. Just call it wins, and we initialize these to 0. when the game is starting, they should read 0. So the other variable is private static int int draws for draw, that is going to hold the draws. Again, I'm initializing it to 0. Then we have private static int, this one is going to hold the losses. Let's call it losses, and I'm going to initialize it to 0. So wins should have capital, should have small w as per my naming convention. Then we have our constructor ready here, so we don't need to do that. Now we need to create two methods. One, the first method is to enable the loading of the scores. First method should enable the loading of the score. The second method should be able to update. The second will be for updating the scores. The second will be updating the scores. So we are going to create can just create anywhere. Let me just create it down here. Let me create a new method that is going to load the scores. A new method that is going to load the scores. So it is a public method, and it's returning nothing. So it's public void. I'll call it load scores. Public void, I call it load scores. And then I have my curly braces there. So in here I am going to create an instance of the object file, an instance of the class file, to enable us to actually access our score file. So I'm going to say file, which is now the class, the inbuilt Java class, and creating the instance file with small f. So this one is equal to new file with capital is equal to new file. Then in this parenthesis we're going to supply the variable that we created to hold our file. So we called it score file. So we're just going to say score underscore file, and we terminate it there. So first of all, we need to check if this file, the score underscore file, is present, if it is actually existing. So I'm going to check if I'm going to say file now dot exists. If file dot exists, if it is existing now, we can implement we can implement now. We can read, if it is existing, then we can read from it. So we're going to have a try block here for exception handling, and what we are trying is the buffer. So I said buffered reader down here, buffered reader, and we create br is equal to buffered reader buffered reader again. And what we are going to have in here is the new file reader. We are creating a new file reader, new file reader to enable us reading the file, to enable us to read the file. So inside here we have to specify what file we are reading. So we are reading the file with small f. We are reading that file. So new file reader is the file that we are reading. All right. So we need to okay, we are trying that already. We need to now say wins, we equate we store we pass an integer into wins. So we're going to say wins is equal to integer dot pass and it's dot pass int. So we are invoking the br, the instance br. So dot read line. We want to read line because what we are taking in the string. So say read line. You also need to read we also need to read you also need to read for the don't worry about these errors, I'm gonna fix them. For the draws, so let's say draws equal to, now because we want to have the same thing, I'm just gonna copy this line here since we just need to have the same thing, and I'm going to paste it here. And then I'm going to do the same for losses. Yeah, so let me check these errors. What are they are they saying? Add catch. Oh, we are going to add that. Yeah, we're going to catch. We're still in the try. We're going to add the catch later. Okay, so once we are done with that, because we have tried, then we need to have the catch block following, which is gonna literally come here. So we're going to say catch, and what we are going to catch in this case is the input output exception. We want to catch the input output exception, and also whether we have an issue with the input output exception. We are catching the input output exception. In this case is if the input or the output is wrong. Then also we want to look for or we want to make sure that the number format exception error is also caught. Yeah, so say catch here, I'm going to say IO exception. That is what we are catching, IO exception. If it is not IO exception that is caught, as then we can also look for the number format. So that is going to be number format exception in there, the number format exception in there. So you also need to report the exception itself here. So you're going to have an E for exception. Yeah, you need to have the exception here. Again, we need to report an error message. So we're going to say system.error.er to enable us report an error. Then you say .println, and basically we are going to show that there is an error in reading the scores. So just say error reading scores, error reading scores. Then we need to show, to print the message, show the message. So I'm going to say plus E for the exception dot get message. So we need to get the message dot get message. This is what we are handling. We are handling there. And again, I'm seeing let me check this line. Let's check this issue here. I'm seeing an issue. Let's check it. Method call expected. Okay, I'm gonna fix that, no worry. I'm gonna fix this issue, don't worry. So we are done with the method for loading scores. Now we need to have a method that is going to help us to update these scores. Once when we play, after playing the game, we should be able to update the scores. So we need a method that is going to not actually updating, saving the scores. Yeah, we want to save the scores. After we play, we get the scores, then they need to be saved back to the file. So we are going to have another method. Let this method be private. Private static void save scores. Private static void save scores. And basically we are going to also try this. Let me copy this line here, this one, the whole of that line. I'll copy it and I'll paste it in here because I want us to also take care of exception handling. It is going to be a file reader, but in this case this is not going to be file reader. Let me just type it so that you understand the difference. Because we are trying to save, so we are writing in, so it is not going to be file reader. So I'm going to say try, and we are going to say buffered writer instead of buffered reader. I'm going to say buffered writer is here. And then we create a new buffered writer, so we're going to say bw small letters is equal to new buffered writer, and then we need to specify or to have and we create a file writer. So we're going to say new new file writer, creating a file writer. So we're going to say new file writer, and we are writing in the score underscore file. This is where we are really writing. So we can have our curly braces here. So in these curly braces we need to write. So we're going to say bw and we call the write method. So bw dot write, we call the write method bw dot write, and what we are writing here, we are writing into wins. So we're going to say string dot value, string dot value, the value of what? The value of wins, the value of wins, same variable as we have used it there. Then again let's have a new line to say bw new line. Yeah, again we're going to have bw dot write, and this time we are writing the value of draws. So say string dot value of string dot value of draws. Yeah, string dot value of draws. Again we say bw dot new line, bw dot new line, and then we also need to do the same for the losses. So bw dot write and say string dot value of losses. You're writing into losses. Then we need to catch now the input output. Here we're going to here we'll just catch the input output exception here. So you're just going to say IO exception, and you have E there. Again so we need to print the error message. So we're going to say system dot err dot println, and what we are printing here we want to show that if the saving did not occur, then say error in saving scores, error saving scores. Say error saving scores. This is saving. Let me delete F here, put G. So error saving scores. Here we have, let's just put a full colon here. Let's have some space. Let's say plus. Now we get the message. So e dot get message. E dot get message. Okay, so this method also is done, but there are a number of issues I'm seeing here. Let me check the issues. Probably they are related to the method call expected, line 90 private static void save scores. Oh, I don't get it. There is, like, let me see what is missing. We have this is okay, this is okay, this is okay, this is okay. You say a semicolon is missing. A semicolon is missing. So I'm trying to look at where that semicolon is missing. Okay, let's leave it for now. Let's first implement the calls. I'm gonna track down and see what's the issue. Now we also have need to have, if we come in our code here, we have we don't have a method to update scores. So we have the method to load scores, we have the method to save scores, but we don't have a method to update scores. So we did a method to update scores. So let's say void update scores void update scores, and you're going to use a switch statement, and this switch statement we want it to take results, because results as a variable. And then the first case is when we get a draw in the results. When we get a draw, then we should increment the draws. So we're going to say draws plus plus, and then we break, and then we have the other case is when we get a win. When we get a win, then again we should be able to increment the wins. So wins plus plus, and then we break. Also the other case is when we get a loss. When we get a loss. Okay, let me check what we are using for loss. We use the word lost. So it is lost. Then losses should be incremented, so losses plus plus, and then we break, and then we break. Good. We can print the scores here. In the update score, we can also print the scores. We don't have to create another method to print the scores and just print them here. So let's say system route.print ln, and what we're going to do here is we're going to show, let's say, scores that we show these are scores. I'm going to show that on a new line, so \n for new line, and then let's concatenate with the string wins to show the number of wins, and we need space, need just an empty space. Then we want to have the wins, so let's show the wins. Great. Then let's have the other results for on a new line, so it will be, let's put a new line character. Sorry. So then plus the losses, let's have losses. We just say losses. We need to have an empty space again to improve legibility, and then let's show losses. Nice. Again, let's have a new line again, so that the other results would appear on a new line. So this time now let's have draws. Let's have draws, and let's have space in between, and then let's show the draws. Let's show the draws. So that is going to show that's for showing our results. Okay, that's fine. Let's now come in our start method. You realize in the start method here we are just setting the user move first. But what I want us to do first is let us be able to load the scores first. So we can have the method, you can call the method load scores here. Then after we have played the game, let's save the scores. After we have played the game, that's down here. Let's update scores, then we save. So update scores, and then we save. Wait, we're updating scores. Do you have a method? Let me check the right method that we have down here. Get results, show results. Update scores. Update scores. We don't have we have not created the save scores method. So we need to create a method. We have created a method for the save scores. Load scores, and I've placed the save scores method inside the load scores method, and it's supposed to be outside. That is wrong. That's why we are getting this error. Oof, it has taken a while to fix though. It's good we have identified it, so we can simply fix it. We're going to remove this class here. We're going to remove it from this cut, and it just needs to be outside. Yeah, just put it outside here. Yeah, and there is gone. That was there. I had placed that method inside another method. Yeah, so there is gone. Yeah, now we can come to our play game. But before we come to our play game, I have this method here which starts the game. Here, the start game, and I have called all the methods here in the order that I want them to be executed. And the first one is the load method, the load score method, followed by the set user move. We load the scores, we set user move, we get computer move, we get the results, then we show the results. After showing the results, then we update what? Update scores. Now let's see Aha. We need to save the score here. Yeah, that's what we did not do. We need to save the scores. Yeah, we need to save the scores. That is not we had not done. So let's come back here and play the game again. So we are done with our game now. Our game is here. The game is ready. Okay, so the issue that was giving us an error was the placement of the scores. This one, the scores.txt. Do not place the scores.txt inside the src folder. Place it inside the rock paper scissors game folder. In other words, inside the project folder and not inside the src folder. So if we click, we come to our class here, play game, and we run this. Let's see, right now wins are 1, losses are 1, draws are 1. So let's run that. So enter a move. This time I'm going to put rock. I'm going to hit enter. So let's come here and check. You picked rock, the computer picked scissors. The result is you win. Then the scores are updated here. Wins now are 2, losses are 1, draws are 1. So let's play again. This time round, let's give in paper. Let's give in paper. Now we have given we have picked paper. Computer has picked paper. The draw is we draw. Now the score for wins remains 2, the score for losses remain 1, and the score for draws now is 2. The score for draws now is 2. Now let's run it one last time and let's give it scissors. Let's give it scissors. So if you give it scissors, you picked scissors, the computer picked paper, you win. So wins now become 3, losses become 1, and draws become 2. In other words, our program now is working the way we wanted it to work. It's able to update and store files. Store the scores and then save the scores, and then read from this file and update them again. So if we come to this file here, when you double click on the file, you see here it's opening with the same results that are here, 3, 1, 2. So if we play the last time, if we play the last time and let's enter a rock and we hit, so wins now are 3, losses are 1, and draws are 3. So let's come back to this file. You see now it automatically updates 331. Yes, so that's it. If you have any question, you drop it in the comment section. My WhatsApp number is also there. You can WhatsApp me directly. We can sort your issue. We are here to help each other learn. So this is the second project, guys. This is the first project. We are done with it. You can I am allowing you to improve this project. You can add user interface, a graphical user interface, of course, using the swings library. You can add more rules. For instance, you want somebody to play maybe after 5 rounds, then the game resets and all that. You can upgrade it. Otherwise, I was using this to teach you the basics. To instill more knowledge in terms of the Java programming language. So see